What if I told you that the real reason the United States dominates the world isn't just its military, its technology, or even its economy, but a system so invisible most people don't even realize it exists? A system that forces almost every country on Earth to depend on one single currency, the US dollar. And here's where it gets even more interesting. This global dominance doesn't come from gold. It doesn't come from innovation. It comes from oil. Because right now, as you're watching this, every country that wants to survive in the modern world needs oil. And to buy that oil, they need dollars, not their own currency. Not gold. Not anything else. Just dollars. And once you understand how this system really works, you'll realize something shocking. The United States doesn't just participate in the global economy. It controls the rules of the game. Now think about this for a second. Every country works hard to earn money. They export goods, provide services, build industries, all to strengthen their economy. But what if one country didn't have to play by those same rules? What if one country could literally create money and the rest of the world would still accept it as valuable? That's not a theory. That's the reality of the petrodollar system. Now, before we go deeper, you need to understand one thing. Real power in this world doesn't come from what you own. It comes from what others depend on. And nothing is more important to modern civilization than oil. Oil powers transportation. It runs industries. It fuels militaries. It keeps global trade alive. Without oil, everything stops. And this is where the real story begins. Because controlling oil is powerful, but controlling how oil is traded, that's absolute dominance. Now here's the twist most people never think about. The United States doesn't actually need to own all the oil reserves in the world. It just needs to control the currency used to buy that oil. And that's exactly what it did. Let's go back in time. In the early 1970s, the US dollar was in serious trouble. It was no longer backed by gold, and global confidence was falling fast. The system was close to collapsing. But then, something happened that changed everything. A deal. A quiet, strategic agreement between the United States and Saudi Arabia. The terms were simple, but the impact was massive. Saudi Arabia would sell its oil only in US dollars. And in return, the United States would provide military protection and security. Soon after, other oil-producing countries followed the same model. And just like that, oil, the most important resource in the world, became tied to the US dollar. Now think about what this means. If any country wants oil, it must first get dollars. So how do countries get dollars? They export goods. They trade internationally. They build reserves. But no matter what they do, they are constantly feeding demand for the US dollar, which means the dollar becomes stronger not just because of America, but because the entire world is forced to use it. Now here's where things get even more crazy. Because global demand for dollars is always high. The United States can print more money and still maintain its value. Let that sink in. Other countries have to work for money. The US can create it, and the world still accepts it. It's like playing a game where everyone else has to earn points. But you control the scoreboard, and this is the real power of the petrodollar system. It allows the United States to finance its economy, its wars, and its global influence without facing the same limitations as other countries. But every powerful system has a weakness. And here's the question that changes everything. What happens if the world stops using the dollar? What happens if countries decide to trade oil in other currencies? Imagine oil being sold in Chinese yuan, or euros, or even local currencies between countries. Suddenly, the demand for the dollar would drop. And if demand drops, power shifts. The US economy could weaken, inflation could rise, global markets could become unstable, and new superpowers could emerge. This is why this system isn't just economic. It's political. It's strategic. It's about control. And right now, cracks are starting to appear. Countries like China are actively promoting their own currency. Russia has already moved away from the dollar in many transactions. And groups like BRICS are exploring alternatives to reduce dependence on the US financial system. Some oil deals are already happening without the dollar. Small, but significant. But here's the reality. Replacing the petrodollar system isn't easy. Because the entire global economy, from trade to banking to reserves, is built around it. It's like trying to change the engine of a plane while it's still flying. Possible? Maybe. Easy? Definitely not. So where does this leave us? We are at a point in history where the system is still strong, but slowly being challenged. The dollar is still dominant, but no longer untouchable. And the future? Uncertain, because if this system ever collapses, it won't just affect one country. It will reshape the entire world order. New alliances will form, new currencies will rise, and power will shift in ways we've never seen before. So the next time you hear about oil prices, or global conflicts, or currency wars, remember this: it's not just about resources, it's about the system behind those resources, a system that quietly controls the global economy and shapes the future of nations. Now here's the real question: how long can this system survive? And more importantly, who's preparing for what comes next? If you want to understand the hidden systems that control the world, the strategies behind global power, and the stories no one explains properly, then make sure you subscribe right now, because on this channel, we don't just tell you what's happening, we show you why it's happening. And trust me, the next video is going to be even more shocking.